Hello folks, and welcome to the first official episode of Fun Tune Fridays. And before we get onto Fun Tune Fridays proper, which will be a Masterworks, let's have a little bit of trivia. Now, last week I was on the topic of love and marriage. Well, let's continue that. Now, this particular trivia question revolves around Sly and the Family Stone's lead singer, Sly Stone. And I want to know this: what was particularly noteworthy about Sly Stone's marriage to Kathy Silver in 1974? To repeat, what was particularly noteworthy about Sly Stone's marriage to Kathy Silver in 1974? As ever, have a little think, just a bit of fun, so no Googling please, just have a little think through this video. I will give you the answer at the end of the video. And now over to that very video. In this Masterworks, we're going to look at a group, a short-lived rock group called Buffalo Springfield, and the album Buffalo Springfield Again. Now, back in 1967, a young Neil Young talked to the TV presenter Dick Clarke on the American Bandstand TV program. He was fresh-faced, innocent in tone, animated, excited, and yes, very warm in his approach, which was quite amazing for such a shy man. But then, shy people can be great actors in social situations for limited periods. And Young said this. He said, Bruce, meaning Bruce Palmer, a fellow band member, Bruce and I came to Los Angeles in an old hearse to try to be stars. We were just about to leave when I saw him, and Neil points at Stephen Stills, coming the other way on Sunset, and he stopped me, and we stopped, and then we started. Now, Dick Clarke turned away and looked into the audience, and he said, have you ever seen a steamroller, the things they roll over roads and that kind of thing? And he turned back to Young and he said, isn't that how you got your name? And Young agreed. He said, yes, from a Buffalo Springfield steamroller. So now you know, just in case you were not aware. And then Stills leaned into the conversation and said, we thought it would be nice to have a group that would be as big as that steamroller. Well, nearly, but not quite. The group were only together for just over 2 years. And during that time, the lineup would change so that 9 people would constitute the final tally. There were creative arguments and fallouts while Neil Young discovered that he had epilepsy, having sudden fits at inopportune moments, which certainly didn't help matters for young kids who didn't know how to respond or cope with such a medical situation. Then there was Palmer's fight with deportation and his gradual detachment with reality from increasing drug use. Stephen Stills, well, there was his increasing ego and Young's increasing habit of just walking out of the band when he was bored. He was seemingly always on the verge of doing that. And then he did it for good. And then the band died. When the band worked, it worked well, and the members sparked off each other with a sense of creative gusto. Stills commented how he and Young connected when playing guitars. He said, by looking at each other and emulating each other, we'd copy each other, and by doing that, we'd meet in the middle. He, meaning Neil Young, was much better than I was at first, although I had a better stroke for rhythm. But he was instrumental in teaching me how to play lead, showing me positions and stuff. 3 LPs emerged from the fracas, but this LP is arguably the best of the bunch, closely followed by the self-titled debut. Stills contributed Bluebird and Rock and Roll Woman as folk rockers, plus Hung Upside Down and the jazzy Everydays. Neil Young wrote Mr. Soul, as well as Expecting to Fly, along with Broken Arrow, adding a sort of psychedelic flavour. Chatting to the website jambands.com, Richie Fiore, another band member, commented on his favourite tracks from the album, in addition to A Child's Claim to Fame and Good Time Boy. He said, "From my own personal standpoint, Sad Memory, because when I sang Sad Memory, it wasn't even planned on being on the record. It was something I was doing while I was waiting for Steve, Bruce, Dewey and Neil to show up in the studio, and I was just getting some acoustic sounds and all of that. Then Neil came in and heard the song and really liked it. The song held a real special place in my heart, and he said, I want to record this right away. That was impressive. I also really liked the song of Steve's, Bluebird. That was the song I thought was going to launch our career. I didn't think it would be For What It's Worth. I thought it would be Bluebird because it was probably around about that time when we were working it out. Now, not all of the band were present on the tracks, but the album as a whole offers variety in terms of vision and application, with a host of top quality songwriting. If you're after a vinyl copy of this album, well, I can recommend a box set if you can afford the box set, if you can find it. It's called Complete Albums Collection. It's a 5 vinyl disc set, including 1966's self-titled debut in both stereo and the band-preferred dedicated mono mix. The follow-up, 1967's Buffalo Springfield Again, which we're talking about here, also includes a dedicated mono and stereo mix. 1968's Last Time Around, stereo only, completes this box. The audio for this set has been remastered from the original analog tapes, and it was overseen by Neil Young. The vinyl set is limited to 5,000 copies in gatefold packages, which replicates the originals. However you buy it, I certainly recommend the album. Now, before I go, let's get to that trivia question, and let's give you the trivia answer. And the question was, and still is, what was particularly noteworthy about Sly Stone's marriage to Kathy Silver in 1974? And the answer is, the wedding of Sly Stone and model actress Kathy Silver took place in front of 30,000 guests on stage at Madison Square Garden during a sold-out performance on the 5th of June 1974. They unfortunately separated 2 years later after his dog mauled the couple's child. So now you know. But on that rather somber note, I will bid you adieu. And I will also thank you, which I am now. Thank you very much for supporting this channel and everything that goes in it. And if I could possibly ask you just to click downstairs on the like and subscribe buttons, that would be wonderful. Check in the description for a batch of live headers, which you can use to navigate around the video. There's also links to my Facebook group, my website, and if you can support me on Patreon, there's a link for that as well. So I will be back on Monday. I'll be back on Monday with something hi-fi flavoured, and I hope you can join me then. Until that time, folks, bye-bye for now.